So this video here is for my people who probably don't know that they about to meet God. Probably don't know that they about to have a divine encounter. And based on my own personal experience and based on some of the things that I know about other people's personal experience, this could be you. Could be. Not saying that this is the way it is for everybody. But the first thing I want to tell you is this. You were never put here to be like the rest of the world. You are not them. You can't be them. You can't roll with them. You can't do what they do. You can't eat what they eat. And you can't live how they live. So you might not know that right now because all you ever known was the world. All you ever known is the life you was born into. But at the same time, you still know that something is missing in your world. At the same time, you still long for some adventure, some different way of life, like you got put in the wrong body, or not even put in the wrong body. You just got dropped off in the wrong location. You live in the wrong time period. Just something like you just know it's something more to this that just ain't seeming to materialize right now, and so what you do is you focus on all your hopes and dreams, all of your aspirations, all of your gifts and skill sets, all of the things that you think is what your life is all about, and you put your all into things endlessly because you're trying to find some sense of meaning or belonging or just something more to your life than the daily everything everybody do, but yet all you know is the daily everything that everybody live for. You start feeling like you never got the hang of living here. You never got the hang of being an American citizen. Like you think that if only you moved to Africa and lived off the land and, rode giraffes for a living, then just maybe everything could be all right. You might even feel like maybe if you could leave your job and start a business and just do what make you different for a living, then maybe everything would be all right. Maybe you might think that if only you had enough money or resources to finance what it is you really want to do with your life, then maybe you will have the life you want. And truth be told, that's not going to solve your problem, because that's the same thing that happened to me. You know that deep inside your thought life, inside your heart somewhere, it's something that really want to come out. But what you really don't know is it's something that really want to come in. All right. You was always different. You always thought to yourself since the third grade, second grade, something like that. What is the meaning of life? What are we really put here for? I know we can't be put here just to pay off debts until the day we die. Like, that is not why God created us. I'm sure God did not make us just to sit here in front of TV and eating some chips and cutting some grass. Is just all about what our life is supposed to be about. I'm sure God did not put us here just to be an employee and not have some sense of personal life's work, right? Always that thing about your life's work, some legacy you want to leave behind, just something. Like you see all these other people doing their thing and you like, man, if only I could be them, I would be happy. But truth be told, you won't be. It seemed like every time you get started, you get 10 steps ahead. You played by all the rules. You did everything you were supposed to be, and it always seemed to just not work out for God knows what reason. You done did everything people said you supposed to do. A man's supposed to be this. For some odd reason, you just can't seem to find a sense of meaning in all of that. It's just something there that really want to find a sense of just meaning. Like, words can't explain this, all right? I done said enough words and I still can't properly explain the way you really feel on the inside. Still can't. Right? Because it's everybody's life is different. Everybody got the same problem in a different way, and I can't describe it enough. It seemed like every time you get up the mountain, something you didn't do always knock you right back down, and you even further behind than where you started. And you want to know why it's like that? The real reason why it's like that is because God want to put you in a place to where you find no purpose in anything but Him. You need to get to know God, because that is the true purpose of why you were put here. Now, I know a lot of people say to themselves in their heart, well, one of these days I do need to get right with God, but maybe today is not that day. Are you one of them people that say to yourself in your heart that you might even know that you do need to get right with God, but you just don't know how to? Like, how do I do this? I didn't try to go to church. I tried to read the Bible. I tried to do what I thought was turning over a new leaf, but still you just don't know how to do it. I'm going to tell you why it's like that, because God don't want your relationship with Him to be based on anything other than you knowing Him. Because you could spend your whole life in church and never know God, right? Like, you might be acquainted with the things of God, but do you know Him? Do you know Christ? All the years I spent in church trying to do what I thought was turning over a new leaf and stuff like that before I got saved. I actually grew up in church. I'm like, I'm not talking about the time period from when I was a kid and my mom was raising me the direction that I needed to go so that it don't depart from me. I'm talking about after the time I grew up, moved out of the house and all that other stuff. And like, it'd be days I would wake up drunk, hungover, and just start crying. I don't know why. I would just start crying. All them nights of just partying, drinking and stuff like that, and just for some odd reason it was just something in me that just wanted to just cry. Don't know why. Can't put your finger on what make you so sad or empty. It's like you could look at everybody else finding a sense of being and belonging and just being the life of the party, and you just can't seem to figure out why all of this is so important to everybody. But yet this is all you know too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember when I would try to go out to the bar and to the club and stuff like that, and I just never felt like I belonged there. I will always look around at everybody like, this is what y'all do all the time? Like, this is boring, right? I mean, but one too many drinks, you ain't saying that to yourself, but it's like you look at all these people going wild, dancing, sitting around, standing around, and you're like, what's the point of us just standing around? Like, what are we really doing? What? This couldn't be life. I can't seem to understand how people can just get in the swing of life just doing this. Like, you could do this at home. You do know that, right? But truth be told, you might be on your way to having a divine encounter with God. Because from the time you were born, you were already planned to be set apart from the rest of the world. That's why you can't ever seem to get the hang of how the rest of the world is. Like, you can do what the rest of the world do, but for some odd reason, it's like everybody find their purpose and stuff, and you just can't. Like, everybody say the meaning of life is a man raising his kids, and you like, yeah, that's a good thing. Right? Like, I have nothing against that. But something about just that will never really seem like the whole story. Right? Like, you might even hear women say, oh, a man is supposed to be this. And you just sitting there saying to yourself, like, I can be all of that. And for some odd reason, it just don't sound like the whole story to me. Like, I can try and wear that hat, and for some reason, it just don't fit all the way. Like, this hat is supposed to be an accessory to an even bigger hat, right? Truth be told, you were born to be set apart from the rest of the world, and God was raising you from day one to be different, to not be from here. I truly believe that a lot of people who were born here was not meant to be from here. I truly believe that after you get saved, you become borderline the closest thing that people can actually see to an extraterrestrial. Dead serious. Like, nobody understand your moves. Everybody judge you the way they judge everybody else, and you ain't nothing like everybody else. You do one thing, everybody think evil of everything you do, and like, you ain't got no evil intention whatsoever. You just be sitting there thinking, like, how do people come up with this stuff? Right? Like, where is people's heads at these days? I just don't see it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Truth be told, you are not from here. You cannot be like everybody else, because that is not the purpose of your life. I believe this, and I truthfully do think this. I'm not saying that this is true, but this is what I think. I think that God knows everybody who will get saved, everybody who will choose to reject him, and everybody who will receive him and then deny him. I do know that. And I think that God, he raises you a certain way, knowing that at a point in time, you are going to become one of his children. I truthfully don't believe that every man that God has brought to this earth, that every person with a soul is a child of God. Everybody seems to believe, well, we all God's children. I don't think that. I really don't think that everybody who was designed is a child of God just because God made man. Right? Some people seem to believe that, but I just don't. I truthfully think that before you were even, before your parents was even born, he already knew that you would choose him. Like, I really do think that for real. And he raised you. He put you in situations your whole life, situation after situation, for the world to fail you. Situation after situation, for all the things you think you can find your meaning in, to fail you. Now, it don't fail everybody else, but yet it fail you. He put you in situation after situation for the systems of this world to fail you. It don't seem to fail everybody else, but you can do exactly what everybody else do. You can probably do it better, but yet it failed you. Simply because He's cultivating a place in your life when you are going to have nothing but him to depend on. If you think that's you, I want you to ask yourself a question. Is it about time for me to finally get right with God? I know that thought is in your head somewhere. It circles through your brain. That's what it always used to do me. Every night I had a wild party at my house. That thought about getting right with God would always circle through my head. Always. It'll always just cycle through my head at some point, even if it's for like a split second. And I'm far away from even knowing God. You know what I'm saying? I think it's about time for you to choose him. If you in one of them places in your life when you are all the way at rock bottom, brought less than the bottom, seemed like you was $10,000 up, and then in 2 days you $8,000 in the hole over something that you didn't even do to yourself. Even if you did do it, you know, like you could sit back and think about times when you should have died, times when you wasn't even supposed to be here, and yet you made it out alive. In fact, you didn't even make it out alive. You were uninvited. Uninvited for God knows what reason. And then next thing you know, something bad happened to the whole place. And you wasn't even there. Like, do you think that stuff happened for no reason? Like missing a bad car accident by 30 seconds. Like you running late to work. Right? And then you finally get in your car, and on the way there, it's a pile up on the road. That just happened. Like you 2 minutes late. That just happened 2 minutes ago. You think that stuff is for no reason? Like, do you think stuff like that happen just for you to continue your life in sin? Or like just for you to live another day in sin? Like somebody driving the wrong way down the highway, and for some odd reason you missed it. But like you end up falling asleep on the road and swerving at the same time and swerved out of their way. And you finally woke up and like, nah, that was a miracle. You think that stuff happened for nothing? It was a point in like this just recently happened to me, right? This just recently happened. I was supposed to be in my car going to pick up my daughter. And I was just procrastinating. Like, I don't feel like it, man. I was waiting to hear from y'all a whole hour ago. And finally, I get the message. If I would have got up and put my shoes on to get in the car, at the time I got the message, I would have lost my life trying to get into my car. It's a reason why you procrastinate and then find out it was a good idea. God was sparing your life for a purpose. Like even if you already know him, stuff like that will still happen. Sparing your life for a cause. Sparing your life for a mission, Sparing your life for an assignment. Sparing your life because he got a plan on your life. And if this keeps seeming to happen to you every time you at rock bottom, finally you start thinking about God. Like you done lived your whole life doing everything you want, and every time you get in the rock bottom, you want somebody to pray for you. Every time you at rock bottom, now you start going to church. Like, do you think those thoughts in your mind happen for nothing? Like you could easily get up and turn to the bottle, but instead you turn into prayer. I think you need to push through that and see if he be real, for real. Because I was the kind of person that thought that Christianity and the Bible and all that kind of stuff was just, at some point in my life, I kind of thought it was delusional. All the times I tried to create a relationship with God by going to church and stuff like that. Not saying that that's wrong, but God don't want your relationship with him based on what church you go to. God want you in a secret place. He want to come to you himself. So just know there's some of y'all out here who are the lost sheep, and he will leave the 99 to find the one. He will make sure that preacher is late to giving that sermon on Sunday and end up seeing you at Walmart and giving you a word of wisdom just for you. Like that preacher was late giving that word to everybody else because the line is long at the store. And he see you and God tap him on the shoulder and be like, I want you to tell him this. That happened to me. I was working at a store, and this was about maybe 3 months before I actually met God for real. Like this really did happen. I was working at a store and we was getting ready to close. I'm sitting there trying to clean up my department, and this dude come in at the last five minutes of us being open. And he spent an extra half an hour in the store. I was so mad at this dude. I'm like, bro, come on. I'm ready to go home. And then right when he getting ready to pay for what he wanted, he looked me square in the eyes and gave me a word of wisdom that was about my life. And I'm like, there is no way you could know that. None. I would never forget that man ever in my life. 3 months later, end up at complete rock bottom. And here come the living God speaking to me in my heart. And I'm like, I knew it was something. I just knew it. I couldn't figure out what it was, but I just knew it. I knew it. Like, you first sent the preacher. I'm like, okay, maybe this guy is crazy. But then again, like, he is right, though. Then he came himself. And I said, I just knew it. I knew there was something deeper about life than just stuff, you know? It's going to be a point in time when that happened to you. But other than that, y'all stay encouraged. If you one of these people, push through. Push through. Receive the gospel given to you. Because we are at a time right now when a lot of people are going to reject him. And if you one of those ones he keep pushing and pressing on, I want you to let him in today. Peace.